Have you ever woken up from a dream so vivid that, for a few seconds, you weren't sure which world was real? Now imagine something worse. You wake up, look at your hands, your room, hear your thoughts, and realize you have no proof any of it is real. Not no evidence, no proof, because the only certainty is that you're experiencing something. Yet that experience could be a dream, a simulation, a memory, a story your brain tells itself. And if that's true, your entire identity, your past, relationships, ambitions, might be a temporary shape inside a mind you don't understand. This is the trap hidden inside one of the oldest philosophical stories ever told. A man dreams he is a butterfly, feels wind, tastes flowers, moves with effortless freedom. He isn't a man dreaming, he is a butterfly living. Then he wakes up as a man and can't answer. Was I a man dreaming I was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I am a man? This is the butterfly dream, attributed to Zhuangzi, and it's not a cute poem, it's a psychological weapon. Because once you feel this question, you notice, your certainty about reality isn't built on proof, it's built on habit. So let's fall into the trap together. Your brain is a reality generator. It takes raw signals, light, pressure, sound, and constructs a world. It fills gaps, predicts what should be there, smooths contradictions, edits memories to keep your story coherent. You don't experience reality directly, you experience a model, a controlled hallucination that usually matches the outside world well enough to keep you alive. Usually. And the butterfly dream forces the question your brain hates. If your mind builds a world while you're asleep, how do you know it isn't doing the same thing while you're awake? Your instinct says waking life is consistent and dreams are chaotic. But that's not proof, just a pattern your brain likes. And this story isn't about patterns. It's about certainty, because certainty makes you feel safe. And safety is what makes you easy to control. That's why this is a mind trap. It doesn't only question reality, it questions the foundation of your identity. Let's make it personal. When you say, "I am me," what are you pointing to? Your body, your memories, your personality. Your body changes, memories distort, personality shifts with sleep, hormones, stress, trauma, love. So what remains? Most people assume a stable core self underneath everything. But the butterfly dream whispers, maybe the self isn't a core, maybe it's a pattern. And patterns can move and transform. Zhuangzi's hint is transformation. You are a shifting process, a wave taking different shapes. Man, butterfly, dream, waking, different shapes of the same unknown substance. If you're uneasy, good, because here's what makes the trap deadly. The moment you lose certainty about reality, you become vulnerable to anyone who offers you a new one. That's why humans cling to certainty even when it's false. Certainty is psychological shelter. So the butterfly dream isn't just a puzzle, it's a test. How much uncertainty can you tolerate before you start begging for an answer? Because the world is full of systems that sell answers. Religions, ideologies, cults, influencers, political movements, gurus. They don't always sell truth, they sell relief, and relief is addictive. You might say you can test reality, touch things, run experiments, prove an outside world exists. But those tests still happen inside experience. Even science is experienced. You never step outside consciousness to verify consciousness. You verify it from within. So is your entire life just a narrative inside consciousness? And if it is, who are you? Character, author, witness? In dreams, you are both observer and creator. The world feels external, but it is made from you, so outside and inside blur. Now consider waking life. The world feels outside you, but your experience is inside you. So where is the line? You can't find it. You only assume it, and assumptions are not proof. That's why the butterfly dream pairs with simulation theory, virtual reality and AI-generated worlds, because they challenge authenticity, not just reality. If a world feels real, functions real, responds real, does it matter if it's real the way you imagined? Your emotions don't care. Your memories don't care. Your nervous system reacts anyway. If you suffer in a dream, you still suffer. If you love in a dream, you still love. So here's the dangerous question. If the experience is real to you, is that enough? Some say yes. Reality is whatever consciousness experiences. Others say no, there must be an objective world, and if we lose it, we lose meaning. And here the mind trap tightens because both answers have a cost. Say yes and reality becomes fluid, meaning subjective, truth personal. That can free you or destroy you. Say no and you cling to objectivity. Demand proof, chase certainty. Yet certainty might be impossible. So you spend your life chasing something your brain cannot truly have. Now the psychological angle. Your sense of self is deeply linked to memory. But memory isn't a recording. It's reconstruction. Your brain rebuilds the past each time you remember it. That means you is a story constantly being edited, not one stable identity moving through time. You're a series of versions stitched together by narrative continuity, and that continuity can break. Amnesia, dementia, dissociation, identity fractures, and self reveals itself as a fragile process. The butterfly dream doesn't just ask, am I dreaming? It asks, what is the self that claims to be awake? Imagine technology that could induce this feeling on demand. 10 minutes where waking life feels uncertain, therapy, or torture. For some people it already exists. Derealization. Derealization makes the world feel unreal, like a movie, like fog, like a dream. And it's terrifying because it steals familiarity. Your brain doesn't need proof to feel safe. It needs familiarity, and derealization steals that glue. The butterfly dream is derealization turned into philosophy. Now the part most summaries skip. Zhuangzi isn't necessarily saying reality is fake. He's showing dreaming and waking may not be absolute, and that you are always transforming. So the lesson isn't nihilism, it's humility, admitting you might be wrong about everything, and still living. But humans hate that. We want fixed answers, labels, the comfort of a stable self. Thought experiment. Tonight you dream a full lifetime, then wake up 8 hours later. Inside the dream, 80 years passed. Which life was real? Your instinct says the waking life because it's continuous, but continuity is not proof, just preference. Flip it. What if this is the dream and death is waking up? Many traditions hint at this, but the butterfly dream isn't selling belief, it's removing certainty. Because the self you think you are shapes what you fear. Fixed identity makes death feel like annihilation. Transforming process makes death feel like transformation. Same event, different psychological reality. So the dream is also about how beliefs reshape your emotional life. Modern life does its own version. Online, people curate and perform identities until they start living inside the character, performing even when nobody's watching, maintaining a constructed narrative and forgetting what's underneath. So ask, how much of yourself did you choose, and how much did you perform until it felt real? That's the butterfly dream in the age of algorithms. Personality as feedback loop, beliefs as tribe signal, emotions as content, until you don't know if you're living or role-playing. You might hunt for the true self. But what if the true self is the one thing that doesn't exist? Only transformation, always becoming. If that's true, the goal isn't a final identity. It's waking up inside transformation, aware you're changing, not clinging to one story. Liberating because if the self is a story, you can rewrite it. Terrifying because stories can collapse. So what do you do in uncertainty? You choose a reality, not because you proved it, but because you commit to it. You commit to the people you love, the values you live by, the meaning you build, even if you can't prove the world isn't a dream. That's the paradox. You can't prove reality, but you can live it. So we end where we began. A man dreams he is a butterfly, wakes as a man, and can't tell which is the dream. Maybe the question isn't which one is real. Maybe it's what happens to you when you stop demanding certainty. Do you become free or afraid? Because that's the test. Not whether you solve it, but whether you survive it. If you had to choose right now without proof, what would you say? Person who dreamed of being a butterfly, or butterfly dreaming of being a person? And more importantly, why do you need the answer? Drop your thoughts in the comments.